Some celebrity interviews start off friendly, but it only takes one poorly worded question or one joke for things to take a turn for the worse. Just like this interview with Robert Downey Jr., who tried to play it nice until he realized that the interviewer wasn't there to promote the film Avengers. He was there just to get a quick headline out of Downey and dive deep into his past.
You've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with taking drugs and drinking and all of that. You know, the dark periods you went through. And I just wondered whether, you know, you think you're free of all of that, or whether that's still something...
I'm sorry, I really don't... what are we doing?
The interviewer went out of line, asking questions about drugs, prison, and even his father.
I'd really like to ask you about a quote you gave to the New York Times. It was after your incarceration, and you said, you can't go from a $2,000 a night hotel suite to a penitentiary and understand it and come out a liberal. Does that mean you're not a liberal?
Are we promoting a movie?
I mean, to even have the privilege to interview Robert Downey Jr. and to ask a question like this is just out of line and disrespectful. Downey stood up and he had enough.
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
Okay, that's okay.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
I'm sorry.
Take your mic.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
You seem okay, it's just getting a little Diane Sawyer in your...
No, look, I didn't want to do that.
But it wasn't as disrespectful as when Lindsay Lohan walked onto David Letterman's stage. At this time, Lindsay Lohan was starring in a brand new movie, which is what the interview questions should have been about. But instead, she was just ambushed with a string of rehab jokes that slowly chipped away at her composure.
You're supposed to be in rehab now? And how long will you be in rehab?
3 months.
How many times have you been in rehab?
Several.
And how will this time be different? What are they rehabbing, first of all? What is on their list? What are they going to work on when you walk through the door?
We didn't discuss this in the pre-interview.
Lindsay Lohan tried to stay positive. She even laughed it off nervously. But throughout the whole interview, her answers became shorter and shorter. You could see she was trying to keep it together, but she was obviously getting emotional.
You have to be in rehab May 2nd. Are you going to be there? You'll be there, right? Who's taking you to rehab? You don't want to talk about that either, right?
Oh, God.
When you go to the rehab, what do they do?
We have to work here for a movie.
We have to what?
Let's stay on the positive.
Oh, what?
Aside from that side of the positive.
All right,
Come on now.
She tried to pivot the conversation and the interviewer off this topic, but Letterman didn't care and he just smiled with the audience laughing. It was really low of Letterman to ask about these things when he knew it was a sensitive subject.
This could be good for you. It will be good for you.
Yeah, it will.
Have you been to this place?
It's not like a joking matter.
No.
But it wasn't as insane as this moment with Matt Lauer. Before his fall from grace, Matt Lauer was already making viewers uncomfortable. While interviewing Sandra Bullock, he fixated not only on her acting, but on a nude scene in her film, and he decided to be super creepy.
The major thing that's changed since you were here last?
Yes.
I have now seen you naked.
And I'm so sorry about that.
I have seen you naked.
Were you able to sleep afterwards? Why are you looking down?
She tried to redirect the conversation and tried to joke back, but he just wouldn't let it go, and he kept pushing to try and get more information out of this, and even looking down, making a reference to her bottom half.
I watched it last night. It is a lot of fun. Did I mention you have a nude scene in this movie?
Pretty much from the time you opened your mouth. Yeah.
Sandra Bullock, come back more often.
No, not after this interview.
But this is where things took a turn for the worst. Allegations of sexual misconduct came out that led to Lauer's termination from NBC. So what seemed like an awkward interview and flirting moment was really something more insidious. But it wasn't as wild as this moment with Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill has always been adamant about his struggles with body image and the way Hollywood and the media treats physical appearances like a punchline.
Are you the fat guy in Hollywood still? Or is everybody like look at you and they're like, oh wow, this is great, now you're healthy?
Do you have any other questions that are smart?
I'm sure you can recall, in many interviews you've seen, interviewers always make comments about Jonah Hill's personal figure or his body weight, but things went beyond that.
Jonah, do you think it's important to be unattractive to be funny? Can skinny people be funny?
What the man? I don't understand. Can you just ask a normal question?
Jonah Hill was stunned, but you can tell he wasn't surprised because he's been down this road before with many other interviews asking this question. Jonah Hill is wondering why his appearance is always the subject of talk, because no matter how successful or talented he became, people always asked him about his weight.
First of all, you smell good, which is surprising.
Why is that
I
surprising?
don't know. I just wouldn't think of a guy who would have a nice scent on, and it
That's
seems
such a,
you
like, I'm gonna really work hard to not take that as a shot. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't as crazy as this moment with Christina Hendricks. Christina Hendricks was hailed as a body-positive icon, but what many called praise often felt like objectification wrapped in compliments. One interviewer proved this point perfectly by opening with,
"You have been an inspiration as a full-figured woman. What is the most inspiring story that you can remember where you've inspired someone?" I don't know.
Hendricks just froze here. There was a long pause, and then softly she tried to move the conversation on by saying this.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It should have ended there, and the interviewer should have taken the hint. She realizes that no matter what she's achieved, her body is always the lead headline. But then the interviewer repeated this label again moments later.
You've been known as an inspiration for women, as being a full figure. What is the most...
I mean, you just said it again. It's just sort of...
But it wasn't as crazy as this moment with Anne Hathaway. Anne walked into interviews expecting to discuss her role as Catwoman, her stunts, and her acting. Instead, she just got asked about her workout routine over and over.
You are in phenomenal shape.
Thank you.
You're very
gracious.
You're always in great shape, but you had to make sure you were in perfect shape for this one, didn't you?
It wasn't about being in perfect shape, it was about being able to do the stunts and the fighting perfectly.
You can tell that she is not going to be entertaining these questions, but the questions just kept coming. Finally, she had enough. Her tone completely changed. She was portraying a message that was clear. Any questions about her body, she's not here for it.
Is there a certain regimen you put yourself through in terms of the diet, the workout? What is the feline fitness regime?
A lot. It's all the boring stuff that no one ever wants to do. It's just watch what you eat and get yourself to the gym.
Any particular workout?
Are you trying to lose weight?
Well,
what's the deal, man? You look great.
No.
No, seriously. We have to talk about this. What do you want? Are you trying to fit into a cat suit?
But this celebrity is one you do not mess around with. And if you're going to be interviewing Gordon Ramsay, you better come prepared, because this journalist thought it would be clever to surprise him with a photo of a steak served at one of his restaurants, asking if he thought the steak looked acceptable, questioning the integrity of his food.
It's really weird for you to give me a piece of paper. When you say, am I satisfied that it's a good steak, you have to be a little bit more honest with me on that one. What are you trying to get at? You asked for the steak to be cooked well done.
And is that a well done steak?
Oh, come on. What is this?
He then launched into a precise explanation about how overcooking a steak ruins even the highest quality meat, and you can never cook a steak well done.
Can you, keep on rolling? For legal reasons, this is absolutely crucial. But how sad is this, that you asked for a steak to be cooked well done, okay? Now, whatever quality of beef it is, it's gone past any form of taste when you've cooked it well done.
Gordon could immediately tell that the interviewer was trying to pull a fast one. Gordon Ramsay wasn't just defending his restaurant, but he was defending his own cooking standards and character.
You present me with a picture and you say, is that right? I don't eat steak well done. That's your prerogative because you're the customer. Unfortunately, you're never going to identify the quality of a beef when the steak is well cooked. So I'm really sorry to piss on your bonfire, but it's a bit of a stupid question. Thank you. Can I give you a paper back? Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was an intelligent interview.
But no one shut down a question harder than Michael B. Jordan. Jordan came face to face with someone who he hasn't seen since childhood. It was a former classmate who turned reporter, and he could tell that something was off.
You know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
The corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure.
The interviewer tried to laugh it off, pretending that she was misquoted, but Jordan wasn't gonna let her rewrite the past.
No, you did not hear me say I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here.
This wasn't about revenge, it was about accountability. In just a few words, Jordan turned this moment into a power shift. And to make matters worse, Jonathan Majors walked in, and the reporter awkwardly tried to switch gears, calling it a different type of show.
Isn't this the sexiest man show off right here? Who's the sexiest man? Because now
But it wasn't as bizarre as this celebrity interview moment with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey showed up at New York Fashion Week, and he promptly refused to play along with any interviewers and any questions.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. You gotta admit it's completely meaningless.
The reporter, who was caught off guard, tried to redirect, and then what followed was a surreal rant myths about reality, ego, and energy.
They say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe that you exist. I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. And I don't care.
Most people thought he was joking, but he clearly wasn't. Carey later explained that he was in the middle of a deep personal awakening and a total reevaluation of his life.
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream?
There's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
Okay.
But no one gets hit with more awkward questions in interviews than Megan Fox. Megan Fox has spent her entire career being viewed through the lens of objectification. In one interview, a reporter opened up by saying,
I don't know if there's a man alive who's not in love with you in some way.
You're so silly.
You know what am I really?
You're a silly
No,
man.
I'm not silly at all.
You're a silly man in a checkered shirt.
I am not. Wow.
And Megan Fox tried to deflect this question with humor, thinking that it would be the end of it, but sadly it wasn't. She put on a fake smile, but behind this smile, there was clear discomfort.
And I don't think you're flirting with me. I'm kidding.
Oh, dude.
But it doesn't top this moment with Joaquin Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't fake anything for the cameras, and by the end of the Joker press tour, that truth was on full display. Another journalist, yet again, asked about how he prepared for the role.
The movie obviously is about the Joker, but it goes beyond that. It's really about the mental state he was in. Can you tell me a little bit about what research or what kind of, what you did to prepare for this? Because this was really an intense performance. What was kind of the process of getting into that mindset?
Isn't this old news? Isn't this old news? I feel like I've talked about this for 6 months.
It seemed like he immediately became angry with this question, and it seems like he's burnt out about talking about it. It's the kind that comes from giving your soul to a performance and then being asked about it over and over again. He eventually just gave a sarcastic, half-serious answer and then gestured to his publicist like, get me out of here.
And thank you so much for asking that question. My publicist is telling me I just need to go home.
Just like this moment with Quentin Tarantino, he completely lost it when he was asked if violent films cause real-world violence. The interviewer kept persisting on this issue, but Tarantino doubled down.
Why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
It turned into an explosive moment, and Tarantino had had enough of being blamed for society's ills.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Just like this interview with Tom Cruise, there's a reason why Tom Cruise keeps his private life private. After decades in the spotlight, he's learned the cost of transparency. So when an interviewer blindsided him with a question about Nicole Kidman, asking if she was the love of his life, it was more than just personal.
Was Nicole the love of your life?
What do you mean, Peter?
You were married for 10 years?
Listen, we raised children.
Cruise paused, not out of confusion, but restraint. You could literally see the gears turning behind his eyes, and the interviewer tried to deflect blame, saying that other people wanted to know. But Cruise wasn't about to let it slide.
Do you have a relationship where you talk, it's a parenting relationship, and talk professionally about each other's work?
Listen, here's the thing, Peter. Yeah. You're stepping over a line now. You're stepping over a line. You know you are.
Well, I suppose they're questions, Peter, that people want to know.
Peter, you want to know.
This moment was powerful because it revealed Cruise's self-awareness. He's not just defending himself here, he's pointing out all the subtle tactics that media outlets and interviewers use to turn personal pain into public content. And for once, someone was calling it out in real time.
Take responsibility for what you want to know. Don't say what other people. This is a conversation that I'm having with you right now.
You're right.
So I'm just telling you right now, okay? Just put your manners back in.
But it wasn't as awkward than this interview moment with Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy doesn't entertain foolishness, and his interviews are a masterclass in emotional restraint. During a press interview, a reporter nervously asked about his sexuality, calling it ambiguous and wondering if Hardy found it difficult to talk about.
Your own sexuality seems a bit more ambiguous. Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
The pause and the smirk that he had on his face with the narrowing of his eyes shows that it wasn't just anger, it was embarrassment. For the reporter, he tried to make the person asking the question feel embarrassed to ask it. And then when he was pressed again, Hardy came back and asked,
"But what is your question?"
I was wondering if you find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality. Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
And that silence was so awkward. He could have got more upset. He simply just dismantled the question with his quiet confidence. And then when a different journalist later asked if he was surprised by the number of strong female characters in Fury Road, Hardy's answer was just as direct, especially with reporters trying to get a quick headline.
I have a question for Tom Hardy. Tom, I'll preface my remarks by saying that I have 5 sisters, a wife, a daughter, and a mother, so I know what it's like to be outgunned by estrogen. But I just wanted to ask you, as you were reading the script, did you ever think, why are all these women in here? I thought this was supposed to be a man's movie.
No. Not for 1 minute. That's kind of obvious.
But the most savage moment is when Matthew McConaughey destroyed Joy Behar. Matthew McConaughey was in a discussion about him running for office in Texas. And recently, McConaughey has been open about his anti-gun stance. Behar tried to corner him.
In 2021, you considered to run for governor of the state of Texas. Do you think political office is in your future?
If it's where I would deem myself to be most useful, yes.
But he shut her down quicker than she could react.
Do you think you could get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is me playing a game that I'm not interested in playing. To give you a direct statement right there.
Which interview moment did you feel was the most awkward? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts.